In this video, we're going to talk about loops and strings in Ruby. So we'll be looking at loops first, loops in Ruby. So basically there are four types of loops. First, for loop, while loop, do while loop, and then finally until loop. Let's take a look at the for loop first. For end in 1 to 5 ends with the end keyword, and in here we write the statement puts end. If we run it, it will print out all the numbers from 1 to 5. 1 starts from 1 and ends in 5. Now if we change the variable into L and change it here and run it now, it will print the same result. Now if we want to do this in a single line, we'll have to use the do keyword. Now if we run it, the same thing it returns. Now let's take a look at the while loop. While condition ends with the end keyword, and between, let's comment it out first. Let's take a variable index is equal to 1. This is the condition, and between the lines puts index. Let's write the condition here. Index is less than or equal to 6. Let's increment the index by 1. Now if we run it, 1 to 6. So the variable starts with 1 and ends with 6, and it gets incremented by 1 every time. So this is the condition, index is less than or equal to 6. Now if we want to write this in a single line, we'll have to use the do keyword. Let's place this do. Now let's separate the statements with semicolon. You can use this here too. Now if we run it, it prints the same result. If we didn't use the semicolon, it would give us an error. So we'll have to use the semicolon to separate the statements. Now let's comment this out. Before that, let's write for loop, and here while loop. Now let's take a look at the do while loop. To use do while loop, we use the keyword loop and do. Ends with end keyword. Let's take a variable int, which is 1. Don't have to use the semicolon. Puts end. Let's write the statement, the condition. If end is greater than 5, we will break the loop. Let's end this with the end keyword. We'll also have to increment the end by 1. Let's place this. If we run it now, it gives us 1 to 5. So as soon as it prints out int, and as soon as int is greater than 5, it breaks the loop. Let's comment this out. Now let's look at until loop. For until loop, we use until keyword with the condition. Let's take a variable first, I is equal to 4, and until I is greater than, let's take 9, ends with the end keyword, puts I. Increment I by 1. Now if we run it, it prints 4 to 9. So it starts with 4 and ends with 9, prints out the I until I is greater than 9. So as long as I is less than or equal to 9, it will be looping. We can also use the do keyword here, does the same thing. We can also do this in a single line. Change the cursor, does the same thing. Let's comment this out. Now let's look at strings and its methods. String equals, this is a string, puts str, this is a string, it prints out this is a string. Let's take a variable num which is 67. Now print a string, puts I have a number, that is, we'll use a concept in Ruby, hash with the curly braces, and inside that num keyword, num variable, and if we print it, it prints out the number, the variable we have. So this is called interpolation in Ruby. So we can use that in many scenarios. Let's write this interpolation. Multiple lines. We can use multiple lines in Ruby very easily. Puts, this is a string, do write in multiple lines. Question, okay, does it write in multiple lines? Let's break the line. Now if we run it, it has simply returned us multiple lined string, so it's very easy to use that. Now we'll be looking at string methods. So let's search on Google what are the string methods in Ruby. We have a free code camp link here, Geeks for Geeks. Let's look at the free code camp page. So we have a property.length.empty with a question mark. To check that, If the string is empty, dot count method counts. Dot insert upcase, downcase, swap case, capitalize, reverse, split, chop, removes the last character of the string, strip, chomp to integer, g sub concatenation with the plus method, concat method, index, clear. Let's copy this link, paste it here for the reference. Now let's write some programs. Before that, let's comment all of these lines out. Let's take a string str test string. Let's name it str1 and str2. Another string puts str1 plus str2. Now if we run it, it has concatenated the both strings. We can also use the concat method and pass string 2. If we do this again, this returns the same thing. This prints out the same thing. We can also use another method. So these three methods are essentially doing the same thing. So this is for concatenation. Let's place this here. String my name is Mridul, puts string dot length. The length method, it returns 17, the length of the string. If we were to use some white spaces, 2 white spaces increases length by 2, and if we add 2 more, it gives us 21. Str dot strip, it removes the blank white spaces after and before. Alright, we'll have to pass it to the main string variable. Now if we run it, it gives us the length without the white spaces. Str my name is Mridul. So if we comment this out and run it again, now it's giving us the white spaces. We can check this here. So this is for strip and length. Comment this out. Steer another string. Puts steer dot chop another string. So it has removed the last character. Chop method removes the last character of the string, and if we use the exclamation mark, it changes the main string, original string. We use now reverse. it reverses the string and returns the reverse string. Let's comment this out too. So there is another method, puts str.upcase. If we run it, okay, so it should have been the lowercase u. Now it's working. You can also use downcase. Let's comment this out and run it. It's giving the downcase string. We also have capitalizes the string. You can check this by now what. So it essentially capitalizes the entire string. Let's change this to this. It's again capitalizing the string. We have another method which is swap case. If we use swap case here, it changes all the letter and reverses the case. Like this is down case and this is capital case up case. If we run it now down case has become up case and up case has become down case. The index method returns the index position of the first occurrence of a character. So let's change it to we have many is. We have 3 is in this string. Now if we try to print, so the string dot index and the character in the parenthesis passed in the method, it should return us 1 because e. Now let's comment this out. We also have clear method, str.clear puts string. Now it's cleared out. This is a simply blank statement. If we use parenthesis here, it's essentially doing the same thing. So parenthesis is optional. Str.empty with a question mark to check if the string is empty. Puts should give us boolean, yes, false, because the string we have is not empty. It returns false in this case. Puts str dot, let's create a string with white spaces. Now check this, yes, false. So it's counting the string as not empty. Remove the white spaces. It's returning true because now it's completely empty. So true in this case. In dot insert method inserts a substring in a particular index. Let's try that out. strs equals, let's check, s dot insert, and let's pass in the third index. The string is wow. Now if we print out the s string, it has given us the new string. So in the third index place, so this is 0, 1 and 2, and in here it places wow, so it becomes let wow, something like this. Let wows check. We have count method. It returns how many times a character appears in a string. So here we have 3 is, puts str.count e. It should print 3 because we have 3 is 1, 2 and 3. Let's change the string he. Now if we search for he, let's see what it gives us. 6. It's because 3 h's and 3 is. Let's change this to double quotation to see if that makes any difference. No, it's giving 6 ha. It's giving 5 because we have 3 h's and 2 a's. Right guys, so this is basically the most important methods in strings. I'll see you in the next one.